we all know YouTube is definitely not TikTok. So I got this message from Carol Howard on YouTube in response to a video I shot about asking older lesbians to share their stories about activism. And this is what Carol said. Why do we have a separate committee? Why do you have a separate committee? I think it would be more progressive and productive to integrate everyone. I have had loads of friends and work colleagues of all colors. You Canadian? With the OURS? And sexual preferences. It's not a preference. It's a sexual orientation. It's not a preference. I don't prefer women. I'm only attracted to women. Like, it's not a preference. We should be living in harmony, not going around causing and highlighting differences. Okay, so we didn't cause the difference. Here's my short response to that. It's okay if you don't get it. That's the point. That's why we need our own spaces, because you don't get it. You're never going to get the lesbian experience if you are not a lesbian. You're never going to understand why we want spaces without people that aren't lesbian, that don't understand our sexual orientation, that don't understand what we go through in life in our particular culture. We need our own spaces. Every minority needs their own spaces because the general public is everywhere. It's true. Like, we all have spaces that we go to that are encompassing of all colors and sexual, I'm going to change that to orientations. Work is a place, most restaurants, bars, movie theaters, any kind of thing that you can, libraries, any public space is pretty generally for everybody, right? Especially if it's like a public space that's available to the general public. However, we have unique experiences, and I can ask you questions that you're not going to be able to answer in the same way a lesbian will answer. For instance, when you were growing up and you had crushes on girls, did people tell you you wanted to be a boy, or you're acting like a boy, or little girls don't have crushes on little girls, or little girls have crushes on little girls, you'll outgrow it, or it's a phase? Did you get told that when you said I have a crush on a boy? Did someone tell you you will outgrow it, that it's just a phase? No, they didn't, because we are a minority and we are not kind of the general, which is why we need to have, and I'm not mad, I had to explain this over and over again when I was like active in activism, so it's giving me a chance to kind of reiterate what I'm trying to say, which is first of all, committee, I mean, okay, if you want to call my friends on TikTok that I'm asking to tell their story a committee, if you had any idea the sheer amount of committees that we've had to form over the years in order to get our civil rights, it would probably shake you in your boots or your tennis shoes or whatever it is you have a preference for. So it says here it would be more progressive and productive to integrate. Everybody's already integrated for the most part. But also, when I go into a space as a lesbian, I can't just walk up to somebody and be like, you know, hey, miss, you're really pretty, would you like to go on a date? No, like, don't do that. That's extremely dangerous. But if I'm in a lesbian space or an LGBTQ plus space or something like that, there's a better, safer chance, like let's say a gay bar or let's say a PFLAG meeting that's a social function. It is much safer for me to go up to somebody and say, hey, you're really pretty, I would like to take a date, or I find you super interesting, would you like to go on a date? I'm not going to do that because everybody that says they're progressive is not progressive. Trust me on that. And progressive can mean a hell of a lot of things to a hell of a lot of people. So what I'm explaining to you is we have consistently had experiences that straight people, even bisexual people, will never have as a lesbian. We have our unique experiences. And young people who are lesbians deserve to hear our stories and how that was unique, so they know, oh my gosh, I'm not an anomaly, I'm not doing it wrong, I'm not weird. I have other people in the world who have shared my exact experiences, and I can hear their stories about how they handled it. Because how we handle things is not going to be the same as people that don't have our experiences. So I kind of hope that helps. And you're on YouTube. I don't know if I can tag you on YouTube. Again, this is not out of anger. This is helping you understand. And I'm going to come back to it. If you don't understand why we need our own spaces, that's the point. That's why we need our own spaces.